Ranger's always been my favorite class. Well, today I'm gonna talk about the one D&D Ranger in the Expert Classes playtest. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where Ranger is viewed as a strong class and Rogue as a bad class. Just like the Bard video, I'll just talk about the big changes. Let's start with spellcasting. They used to be spell-known casters, but just like Bard, they're now prepared casters. It's a small buff, but it's good. I'm happy with it. Another big change is that they've made Ranger close to Artificer in how they work as half-casters. All of it is good stuff. They now get cantrips and spell slots are rounded up when multiclassing. Of course, Rangers now need to find out what spell lists they use, and what spell schools all of their spells are from before they know what spells they can prepare. The answer is primal spells and everything except for evocation, by the way. The only real good spell Ranger loses, if you take into account the optional spells from Tashes, is Aid. However, they gain a lot of potential spells in return. Some highlights are Healing Word and Sleet Storm. I would definitely consider that a win, and they even get more than that. Speaking of spellcasting, the inevitable happened. Hunter's Mark is now on every Ranger's character sheets through the new version of Favored Enemy. This might be the first time I say it, but Hunter's Mark might actually be competitive to the other spells of the same level for Rangers now. That has to do with a combination of ranged weaponry now no longer needing a bonus action to be used with the new light weapon property, and Hunter's Mark not requiring concentration if used with this feature. Kobold, I told you Hunter's Mark was good. It was okay back then. Now we've got to compare this to Favorite Foe. Favorite Foe is an optional feature in Tashes. The biggest difference are that Favorite Foe was once per turn and did not require a spell slot. It was instead proficiency times usage and concentration. I think in power it's pretty similar to all the other changes in mind. I had to sit on this for a while. Before I thought it was a nerf, but I started considering the new light weapon rules. By the way, here's another thing I sat on for a while. Today's sponsor, Constructor! Constructor is a 3D VTT that has all the tools you need to construct the perfect man cave. Look at this guy, he's doing a speed run. Thanks to Constructor, the DM can create a custom map in minutes. Or you can access maps shared online by other DMs. This can be done both before a session or during. It's quick and simple. In fact, there's also a tool to generate random rooms. Boom! Instant dungeons in my Dungeons and Dragons. Then you've got dynamic lighting, fog of war, automations for character sheets and monsters. Absolutely everything you need and more. Here's something I find super cool. Miniatures. They offer an easy way to make your own character model. And you can import your own models as well. This is a fantastic tool that works on multiple devices. Computers, phones, tablets, and even VR and AR headsets. Oh, so yeah, they're going to the space age when it comes to VTTs. And their Kickstarter ends in a few hours, so if you want those sweet rewards, now's the time to support them! Time's ticking! Speaking of optional features from Tashes, Tireless and Nature's Veil can both be found in the base Ranger now. One big change is that these features are both given out at a later level than they were before, which seems to be a big trend along many class features in this playtest. I don't like it. I think this has to do with discouraging multiclassing. This is especially noticeable with low-level features no longer being accessible with the first level in a class. On the one hand, I do understand this change, but on the other, just remove multiclassing. The game should be balanced around people playing their class. I've talked about armor dipping before, and that is mainly an issue because multiclassing is used at so many tables. I do like multiclassing, by the way. Anyways, let's move to Hunter. Overall, the subclass seems heavily dumbed down. They removed all the choices, even though the whole subclass used to be about making a choice of many features. I really enjoyed that part of Hunter. That was really cool. But now it's gone. Also, no additional spells. I wish they would at least hand the Hunter Find Familiar. I think that would be really cool. Hunter's lore is very cool. It's useful for the party to know these immunities, resistance resistances and vulnerabilities. And so you tell the party about it so they can use that knowledge to their advantage. But sadly, you, the hunter, can't take advantage of this alone. You have no way of doing fire damage, for example, unless the DM gave you a magic weapon. Hunter's lore needs to be on a different ranger subclass that can change elemental damage. Another part that I dislike is Conjure Barrage being given as a feature. The spell sucks and definitely not worth downcasting. They could have kept Volley and Whirlwind Attack here and just boosted the damage. Maybe put in proficiency times usage, for example. Those were unique AoE features for rangers. Not good ones though, because the damage sucked, but if they boosted them, it would be good for the game. Those kind of features are desperately needed. Instead, you have to deal with this bad and annoying cone spell. By the way, I hope they clean up the area of effect rules. They're horrendous, especially the cones. My last complaint about the subclass is the 14th level feature. The additional damage part only works in melee. That doesn't fit the stereotypical image of a hunter. I'm not sure what you think, but that's my opinion. I hope they change it. So Kobold, what do you think? It's hard to say, Gator. The changes to Sharpshooter leads to a massive damage decrease, but Hunter's Mark and light weapons does bring it up a notch. Either way, I can't really conclude anything about Ranger's power. Most of its strength lies in its spells, so I can't really say much about how Ranger has changed without first seeing how Goodberry has changed. Together with Pass Without Trace and Surprise and of course Conjure Animals. There's also a few others, but I don't see them changing it. I'm not very hopeful for Ranger though. I can only imagine Goodberry, Pass Without Trace, Surprise, and Conjure Animals will be changed. And if you combine that with martial nerfs, Rangers are absolutely screwed. Now, to be fair, I do think Pass Without Trace should be nerfed by a lot because it's ridiculous. Anyways, I'm gonna repeat what I said in the character origins. This is not enough content for a proper playtest. Why are we getting parts? We need everything for a playtest. This is not the entire Ranger kit. You can't judge a Ranger by just its main features alone. We need all of their spells, their subclasses, and we need all the feats in the game. Then we can properly judge if this is good or not. Anyways, who knows, maybe my favorite class will end up being awesome. We'll just have to see. I have very cold feet, by the way. End of video. Next up is Rogue. Rogue in the current game is the second weakest class in the game. I hope they boosted it. Constructor hopes to earn your support, as I hope to earn your subscription. Remember, it's only a few hours left, so you better hurry. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.